Imagine us sitting here under the broad branches of the baobab tree in my village of Owu, the evening breeze carrying the scent of roasted yams and the distant hum of crickets. My name is Adeyemi, Ade to those who know me, and I'm a yam farmer, like my father and his father before him. I want to tell you a story that happened to me not so long ago, during the harvest season, when the sun paints the hills gold and the earth yields its treasures. It's a tale of mystery, debts repaid, and lessons carved into my soul. So, sit with me, listen, and let me take you back to that time. In Owu, nestled between rolling hills in southwestern Nigeria, yams aren't just crops. They are our lifeblood, a gift from Allah, the earth goddess. Every year, we celebrate the New Yam Festival, a time of drumming, dancing, and feasting, where the farmer with the biggest yam earns the village's praise. That season, I was determined to claim that honor. My fields stretch wide across the slopes, rows of yam mounds rising like small hills, each tended carefully. I'd rise before dawn, when the mist still hugged the ground, and work until the stars peeked out, my hands caked with red soil. My wife, F, would come to me at midday, her clay pots balanced on her head, pots she crafts and sells at the market. She'd bring water and a bowl of pounded yam with vegetable stew, her quiet smile comforting. Our daughter Bisi, just 10 years old, would tag along, her bare feet skipping through the dirt, her laughter brightening the long hours. "Baba, will our yams be the biggest this year?" she'd ask, her eyes wide with hope. "I'm working hard for it, little one," I'd reply, ruffling her hair. That season, however, a peculiar occurrence stirred the air with a sense of mystery. The yams were growing at an unprecedented rate, tubers swelling beneath the soil, leaves so green they seemed to emit a faint glow. At first, I attributed it to Allah's favor, a reward for my toil. But one morning, as I traversed the fields, I stumbled upon them. Footprints, small and bare, imprinted into the earth between the mounds. They were not mine, with my calloused heels, nor were they Ife's or Bisi's tiny steps. That night, as we sat by the fire, outside our mud brick home, the thatched roof casting jagged shadows, I couldn't shake it. "Someone's been in the fields," I said, poking the embers with a stick. I've looked up from stirring the egusi soup, its nutty aroma filling the air. "Maybe the village boys are playing tricks," she suggested. "No," I said, frowning. "The prints are too careful, like someone's tending the yams." Bisi piped up, clutching her wooden doll. "What if it's a spirit, Baba? Like in Mama Ngozi's stories." Mama Ngozi. The name sent a shiver through me. She's the oldest soul in Owu, a woman bent with age, her voice a raspy echo of forgotten tales, rarely leaving her hut now, her legs too frail, but her stories linger. I brushed off Bisi's words with a laugh, but deep down I wondered. I couldn't let it rest, so the next day I decided to keep watch over the fields. "I'll stay out tonight," I told Ifa she needed clay for her pots. She frowned, her hands pausing. "Alone? What if it's thieves?" "I'll take my machete," I said. "I need to know who's meddling with my harvest." Bisi tugged at my wrapper. "Let me come, Baba. I'm not scared." "No, little one," I said, kneeling to meet her eyes. "You stay with your mother. I'll tell you everything at sunrise." As night fell, I kissed them both and headed out. The moon hung full and bright, bathing the fields in silver. I crouched behind a cluster of banana trees, their broad leaves rustling softly, my machete resting across my knees. The air was cool and heavy, with damp earth and ripe yams. A nightjar called in the distance, its lonely song threading through the stillness. Hours dragged by, and my eyes grew heavy, but I pinched my arm to stay awake. Then, just past midnight, a figure materialized from the shadows, moving with a grace that belied her age. She was ancient, older than the hills it seemed, her back curved like a bow, her white hair a wild mane. She was draped in a faded wrapper, tied at her waist, her hands gnarled as tree roots, caressing the yam leaves with tenderness. My heart raced as I tightened my grip on the machete and stepped forward. "Who are you? What business do you have in my fields?" I demanded. She turned, her eyes catching the moonlight, sharp, piercing, alive. "Adeyemi, son of Adewale, grandson of Adisa," she said. "I wondered when you'd come." Her voice crackled like dry leaves, and I froze. "How do you know me? My father? My grandfather?" I stammered. She smiled, her gums bare where teeth once sat. "I am Ngozi. You call me Mama Ngozi, though you've forgotten much." "Mama Ngozi?" I echoed. "But you're too weak to walk this far. How are you here?" She chuckled, a low rumbling sound. "The earth gives me strength, child. I've come to settle a debt." "A debt?" I lowered my machete, my mind racing. "What debt?" She stepped closer, her gaze steady. "Long ago, your grandfather Adisa was a young man with a hungry family. His crops had withered. Drought had choked the land," she continued. "One night, he crept into my fields and took yams without my leave. I caught him, his arms full, his eyes wild with shame," she said, "but I didn't curse him. I said, 'Take what you need, but one day your kin will repay this kindness.'" She recalled. I stared at her, the story sinking into me like rain into parched soil. "He never told me." "He was proud," she replied, "but grateful. This season, Adeyemi, your fields were faltering. The rains came late. The soil thirsted," she explained. "I've been tending them night after night, so your harvest might thrive. The debt is paid," she concluded. My knees buckled, and I dropped to the ground, the machete slipping from my hand. "Mama Ngozi, I didn't know. Why didn't you tell me sooner?" I whispered. "The earth remembers," she said, her hand resting lightly on my shoulder. "And so do I. But I ask one thing in return," she added. "Anything," I said, my throat tight with tears blurring the moon. "Each harvest, leave an offering at the field's edge. A few yams, a calabash of palm wine," she instructed. "Not for me, but for Allah, to honor what's given and taken," she clarified. I nodded. "I swear it, Mama. Every season." At dawn, I stumbled home, the night's weight heavy on me. Ifa and Bisi were waiting, the fire still smoldering. "What happened, Baba?" Bisi asked, bounding to my side. I sat them down and told them everything. "We must thank her. Let's go to her hut today," I said. And we went, Bisi clutching a small pot as a gift. But Mama Ngozi's daughter met us, her face etched with grief. "She's gone. Last night she slipped away in her sleep." "But I saw her. She was in my fields, strong as ever," I protested, staggering back. "She always said she'd care for the earth, till her final breath. Maybe she did." Her daughter smiled faintly. I took yams and palm wine to the field's edge, setting them down with a prayer to Allah. Bisi watched. "For Mama Ngozi." "For her," I said, "and all who've tended this land before us."